Hi everybody, it's Lace here, and today we're going to talk about decoration stealables. And you're going to say, oh my goodness, what is that? Well, while you can craft some things, and some things are pledge related, and some things are quest related, you can also pilfer many of the NPC towns and the items available in them. We're going to start out today in Ardoris because Ardoris has a couple unique items. A couple are purchasables, some are stealables, and while this is a focus on stealables, I also want to point you to a couple of the unique vendors that happen to be in Ardoris only at this time. Doesn't mean they won't expand. And in particular, I'm talking about the Gustball seller and the painting seller. When we approach them, I'll talk a little about each of those items and what they mean. So I've just zoned into Ardoris. I'm going to run over to the boatman over here, and I'm going to click him, and he's going to give me passage along the riverway to various pieces of this city. This city has a lot of points of interest from the East Palace, the West Palace, the market, and everything that you see here. We're going to start our journey off on the docks, and we're going to go to the Gustball cellar. So I'm just going to click docks, and he's going to take me over there. From here, I'm just going to run up these stairs and run to the store, which I believe is like right up here somewhere. Let's see. Dun dun dun. I think it's this one. Yep, it's this one. Digit. In case you want to make a note of that. I'm going to click on Digit, and you can see he sells the small odd skull, which is a great deco item. So I'm just going to buy one of those. And I'm just going to buy one Gustball, just, for the purposes of the demo. The Gustball was introduced by the devs after they saw players basically doing a soccer game, but using the spell gust on each other as the ball. Somebody was the ball, and the two teams were gusting the player back and forth, trying to get them into a goal area. There is actually a Gustball League, and you can search the forums and stuff to find out when they have practices. The goal eventually will be to have teams from different economy areas and things like that will have competitions. I use the Gustball for a putt-putt golf course that I've designed, and basically you just use the spell gust to move the ball along the course and get it into quote-unquote the hole. So there's many other applications that you can use the Gustball for, but this is where you could buy one. Again, right now, the only place to buy one is right here off the docks in Ardoris, which I've just shown you. Breaking into our thievery segment, we want to talk about stealables. When you're walking around the world, you can see how your mouse pointer will turn green. And if I double click this, boom, that just went into my inventory. Oops. There we go. Boom. Now it just went into my inventory. I can hover over it, and this is Spice Jar C. Remember, some of these are going to have very vague names because, not everything's completely itemized. We are still prior to launch, so this might end up being, I don't know, it's yellowish kind of, I don't know, this might be garlic, and this might be fiery hot red pepper at some point. Right now they have generic names, but I can double click it, and it goes into my inventory. I can click on this, and it's called just right now a jar, and looks like that. When you see sacks like this, when you double click them, they may have items. This one didn't have anything in it. Let's click on this. Let's see if we can find something that had, oh, this one had a candle and metal scrap. So I could take those things if I wanted them. I don't really want a candle or metal scrap right now because I'm really trying to highlight stealables. But this is, sometimes they'll have gear like, it's usually a broken leather helmet or, not really good stuff. You're not going to be able to outfit yourself by clicking on these sacks and stuff, but I just want to point that out since we're here. Again, pretty much, Lord British had given the directive, please find anything that you can't steal that's not nailed down in an area, and many guilds, groups, and affiliations went through the entire world at that point and tried to give locations of items that they couldn't currently get. It's going to be more relevant when you're out in hunting scenes, like, oh, I couldn't pick up this cabbage, or I couldn't pick up this ring of skulls, or things like that. And all these things that I'm, double clicking on, like these spice jars and stuff, I can use these in Housing Deco. So maybe I build myself a bookshelf inside my house, and then I can line it with little things. I can line it with books and all the things that I'm going to show you that you can steal. Again, the sacks. Also, when you see these barrels and crates like this, you can walk up to it and smash it. Right now, I'm not seeing anything that's itemized in them. I don't know if that's a future plan to where you could, do that. Hopefully it is, because it makes it a little more exciting if you want to spend the time, clicking on sacks and stuff to maybe find, that 0.001% chance that you get something really good. I know that I've played, Skyrim and other games, and, sometimes it's just fun to go around pilfering things. And that's kind of what we're going over here. Next, I'm just going to run back down to this boat guy that we came from. Just take a quick trip in the city of Ardoris, and we're going to go down to the market square here. And I'm going to use this as an example because there's a lot of stealables there. So I'm going to hit Susquehanna? I don't know. Can't say that. It's like Susquehanna Hat Company from the Abbott and Costello. We're going there. All right, so again, my boatman's here, so if I want to move around. But in here, this is a square, and there's many, many different things that we can steal. I'm going to go in now. Just going to kind of do a counterclockwise thing. Looking at the sign, this tells me it's a bank. I'm pretty sure there's not much I can steal there, so we're not going to go in there. This one tells me it's an alchemy shop, so I'm going to go in here because there's going to be things for me to steal. If I want to make like a potion display or something, you can see how I'm just, here's a cool looking test tube rack. There's some vials there. These are, empty vials, but, depending on how you want to deco. There's also a bookcase, a bookshelf of books. I can get different books. Oops. On the books, when they're in there, you're going to have to drag them into your inventory like this, rather than double clicking like the other things. Because I could sit here and spend many hours being entertained by just reading all these books. So you don't have to take the books, you can read them like this. Again, I'm stealing, so I'm just going to grab all this stuff up because I'm very stealable, or I'm very thief-like, I guess. You did see that watcher out here. I don't know if at some point in the game, when you're taking these things, if it's going to affect your price of the oracle, or affect your different, like if you're, say, I don't know, if you're on the path of truth and you're stealing things, I don't know how that's going to affect that. That's not in the game yet. So possibly you may want to not steal things on a character if you're going pure courage or pure truth or something like that. I'm going to pause this out for a second. Okay, back. Sorry, I just had to collect my thoughts so I can narrate this. Again, here's some green bolted cloth. People use things like these bolts of cloth to build stories on the ground. It might be an arrow marker. I'm grabbing these rolled bolts of cloth. But people use the flat bolts to maybe make like a runway or something like that. The round bolts of cloth they can use to outline a directive path or something in player-created quests and things like that. So I'm just, basically if anything is not nailed down, I'm trying to grab it. I've learned over time what I can and cannot grab in certain areas. This right here, this is like, I believe it's called massive fabric, and it's craftable, so I can't steal that. This is mounted antlers, which you can make in game, but you don't get the nice little skin with it. I believe these are some of the things that they, submitted to the dev team. We'd love to be able to steal these. You'll see swords and shields like this that, can't use it as a sword and shield, but we'd love to be able to use it as deco and or be able to craft it. Again, I'm grabbing some bolts here. These are flat bolts, and the uses are, up to your imagination. We have some fantastic decorators that actually do this for a living, quote unquote, in the game, where they're, going out, getting all this stuff and decorating your area. So I come over here, there's some more vials and bottles, things of spices and stuff, and I'm just grabbing everything because, I'm a thief. The stealables, of course, allow you to, customize your homes and stuff as you have acquired them, either through pledges or, monetary gains in the game. Let's see. So we're running around here, just trying to show you some of the things. Oh, a tavern. Haha. Must go into a tavern. Here we go. We got, I think, a tavern here. If I go in here, oh, yep, there we go. There's pewter mugs, there's ceramic mugs, and wood mugs. Some people want all of one kind, you know, to be very specific. Some would like to have a shelf, kind of like this guy's got. I'm just going to leap over the counter because I'm rude. And I'm going to grab the mugs. Yay! I like this pewter thing here. When you see stuff like this is actually a cabinet. So when I double click it, all I'm going to see is what's inside the cabinet. And I'm not able at this time to grab all those wonderful mugs there. Keep that in mind. It's not a bug. It's just how it is. It's a cabinet. It's not like this, which is not a container where I can grab things. Additionally, if you were looking for plates and bowls and stuff like that, most innkeepers have these, and I can type plate, and I can buy 99 of them. They will be used in cooking, and same thing with bowl. They will be used in cooking, these wooden bowls and wooden plates, as part of the consumable recipe. But you can also buy them from the innkeepers and use them as deco. So if if you're short on plates, whatever. See, like this is it. I'd love to have a couple of these little shields here and stuff to maybe decorate with. This wood pile here, you can actually craft this. There are two recipes. There's a large wood pile and a small wood pile. So I can't steal that because I could technically craft it at this point in the game. Again, here's some more mugs. Yay, mugs. I can even get this candle. Now, double clicking it is going to turn it off and on. But if I hit my inventory and drag it in, haha, candle is mine. Yeah, so that's how you can get some, small items for deco just by stealing. We're going to take a quick trip to like the farmer's market here, and I believe it's this way. Let's see if I messed up. Oh, wrong way. Go back. Okay, I think it's this way. Gonna run over here, and I'm just going to show you a little bit more of the variety of things that you can get. And again, people have gotten very creative with these. They've made signs, they've made arrows, they've made markers, and all kinds of stuff. So here I am over here in the thing. I can grab tomatoes singly, grab all these tomatoes, I can grab some potatoes, I can grab cabbages, and because of the different colors, shapes, and sizes, again, it's up to your imagination how you use them in your homes. We got carrots, yay, and grab some carrots and stuff. When they're in a crate like this, or, a container, those currently you can't use, but man, I'd love to, if I was a cooking person in the game, I'd love to have, little crates of these. They're great. They have recently introduced sacks of flour, salt, and spices that you can use to deco, plus they're used in recipes, and you buy those from like a cooking merchant type. Those are fairly new. Just expect this to expand and grow over time of the amount of things that are placeable deco. Here you can get breads of different shapes and sizes, which again can go on shelves. Also, people use these to create borders. I use these on a stage to almost create the effect of stage lights. It's a little bit of your imagination, but different shapes and sizes and colors of things you can very creatively use. Here's little buns. I see these people use these to spell out words and stuff. There's a game that the Phoenix Republic does called Minesweeper, where it's basically, think about it almost like a battleship board. You have A through H, and then you have 1 to 9, and they've spelled it, use these little buns to spell out the things, the coordinates on the map. And a player will say B6, and whatever the chest is in B6, they get that prize, which might be a whammy kind of thing, or they get that prize. And then as the game progresses, they go on, and it's like, do you want to risk what you've already gotten, or keep going until it comes down to like, final 2, and then there's a grand prize. But anyway, that's another way to use deco is, inventing things and games and stuff for people to use. There's also some very unique stuff. Like here's this scale here. Ink wells recently were introduced. There's that test tube thing. And once again, I can get in here and I can get some different looking bottles that I might use, depending on what kind of set I'm trying to build in my house. Do keep in mind, you do not need to own a house to play this game. Some people are really into deco and themes and stuff, and they love this kind of stuff. Other people are like, I want to hunt, I want to kill, I want to PvP, I don't need a home. that's fine too. But this is just, again, stealables, different spices. We got little bowls. Now, one thing to note is, while this looks small, it is going to be this size when I pick it up. I would love to see smaller versions of these, and I'm sure it's in the works, because if they've displayed it this way in the scene, there should be, large spice bowl B, and this is, let's see, spice bowl C. There should be a large spice bowl C and a small spice bowl C. There isn't at this time, so just, if I grab this, it's not going to be that tiny. It's going to be this size. Same thing with these. They look tiny. They're going to be the bigger size of that. So that kind of covers this market. This Taylor guy, he would be one of the ones I would have bugged to Lord British's quote-unquote discovery team, because I can't touch any of these. There's more things to steal that I cannot get. The meat, you got your cheeses. People use these little tiny cheese wedges, which you can craft, but you can steal also. And they use those to spell out different things and point to things. Got your giant cheese wheel. Got your salami that you could use to spell out things. These ham hock things right here, I don't know, it must be a really big turkey leg, I don't know. Still not placeable. Have bugged it, hopefully someday. At one point, we were able to buy these sausages from like a butcher like this, and then hang them depending on the type of a wall or thing like that. They've disappeared off him, and I've bugged that too, because I want my hanging sausages back. But again, I can grab all this meat, different size steaks. If you're trying to, create a little butcher shop or a little, cooking emporium. The fish, again, they're placeable, and I can grab all these little fish and place them in my house or home. Some of these baskets in some places are grabbable. That one must have fish in it. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing it. But yeah, some of the baskets are grabbable. Again, some of the sacks we talked about, these aren't sacks. These are different sacks, but by mousing over things in the world, either inside of a city or in a scene, you can get lots of deco for free. If you don't mind taking the reputation hit that comes along with it. That is not in game yet, but I suspect it will be. So probably at some point, I expect decorators to be hiring thieves that don't mind the reputation tick. Moving around from the square, we're now going to visit the painting store. Again, this is the only one in game at this time. I don't know that it will change, but we'll see. Going inside here, you can see some of the artworks displayed. Not every piece is, but I'll just click the merchant. Most of them are pretty cheap right now. Economy's not set. I don't know that these won't go up to 1,000 a piece. When you mouse over it, you can kind of see what it is. And over time, you're going to learn that I really like this certain painting. Like this one, I know this is one of the paintings I really like, just because I've been playing in the pre-alpha so much. You'll just learn. You'll learn. This one's like really expensive. You'll learn if you like it or not. There's no distinction on the painting, like a title, like this is a painting of X or this is a painting of Y. Tapestries also have similar scenes. Some of them are repeats of paintings, but the border on a tapestry and the look of a tapestry is very different. So you can give a room a very different feel depending on how you're decorating. Really, the main point of this was just to point out that here is where you can get paintings for your house. Prices are subject to change, quantities are subject to change, the actual paintings themselves are subject to change. One other thing to point out in Stealables is the weight adds up quickly. I've probably in this tutorial so far, we stole 100 pounds of things. I think I was around 80 pounds. Remember, hit K and go into, I believe it's tactics. And your heavy lifter skill is something you're going to want to train, because that affects your encumbrance and allows you to steal more. So if you're a true thief, you're going to want to be able to steal as much as you can in a run. Also, after, like, let's say if I go over here and grab these bolts of cloth, they've disappeared. And I'm in a multiplayer environment right now. Somebody else is not going to see them, but they will respawn. I don't know. It's probably somewhere around 15 minutes. Usually I just move around from town to town on a thieving run, rather than standing there waiting 15 minutes for the first things I stole to come back online. The next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to show you a couple places in the overworld map and stuff where they have scenes that you can steal stuff from, and that'll probably end up concluding this video. I'm not going to subject you to me running around and zoning, so we'll pick up here in a second. So the next thing I just wanted to point out is about exploring the outdoor scenes. So here I can see there's a bedroll that I can steal. That's a rolled up one. I can get this bedroll that's laid flat, and again I can use this in housing. I can grab some cabbages. I can also read some notes and stuff, like this is a bill of lading. So just remember you can interact with things around here. Oh, and if you run through the fire, I'm on fire and I'm going to take damage. Don't run through the fire. So it was just a quick run in through this scene to show that things are interactive in the scene. And again, a list has been made. Now I'm going to have a whole train coming after me, and I don't feel like fighting them, even though I could, because the purpose was just to show that even in outdoor scenes / hunting areas, there are things that you can grab and steal. So stealables are not limited just to NPC towns. So that should conclude stealables. They're in the overworld scenes. They're also obviously in the NPC towns and player-run towns and stuff. You're not going to be able to steal from a player-owned town, but this is how you can get some little extra deco items to help convey a feel in your personal space. Again, you don't have to have a home to play the game, but you know, if you do, decorating can be a fun thing, or you can hire people. You can look on the forums for that. Take care, everybody. Happy hunting and be safe.